Headlines are ablaze with tales of Prince Harry's private meeting with his father, King Charles. Yet in the midst of the media frenzy, the truth seems to have been lost in translation, twisted by the tabloid's need for scandal and sensation. Let's clear the air. The facts are simple, straightforward, and far from the desperate picture painted by the press. Yes, Prince Harry did meet with his father in private. Yes, there were gifts exchanged during the meeting. And yes, Prince Harry did present his father with a photograph. Yet, contrary to the tabloid's gossip, the photograph was not of him and his wife, Meghan Sussex. The photograph was a tender testament to family, a snapshot of his children, Archie and Lilibet. A simple, heartfelt gift from a son to his father, from a father to his grandfather. It was an intimate family moment, a far cry from the theatrical drama the tabloids would have you believe. Nevertheless, the tabloids, ever eager to stir the pot, have seized upon this private family gathering, twisting it into a soap opera. The Sun, among others, ran a headline screaming "No way back," trying to frame the meeting as some desperate plea for approval. They've even gone so far as to exaggerate the details, painting Prince Harry as a formal visitor, distorting the reality of a father and son's meeting. But take a step back and consider the source. The official clarification, calm and factual, stands in stark contrast to the tabloid's loud, emotional and desperate narrative. Which version seems more plausible? Prince Harry is not begging for acceptance. He's a son, a father, a man who values his family. He went to see his father, they exchanged gifts, and a meaningful family photo was shared. That's the reality, stripped of the tabloid's melodrama and sensationalism. Now, let's compare this with the tabloid's rendition of the events. Tabloid headlines such as The Sun's are painting an entirely different picture. They're spinning this simple family meeting into something that it's not, creating a narrative that's more fiction than fact. The Sun's headline screams, "No way back!" a dramatic and sensationalized claim that's designed to grab your attention. But what does it really mean? They're trying to imply that Prince Harry is desperately seeking his father's approval, that he's a formal visitor in his own family's home. Picture this. Instead of a father and son exchanging gifts, having a normal human conversation, the tabloids paint a scene of desperation and tension. They frame Prince Harry as a man on the edge, as if he's begging for something. But begging for what? Approval? Acceptance? Their narrative is clouded by their own assumptions and biases, and it's a far cry from the reality of the situation. The tabloids have a knack for taking a private family moment and transforming it into a soap opera for the masses. It's all about creating drama because drama sells. But let's be clear, the official clarification of the meeting was calm, respectful and factual. On the other hand, the tabloid version is loud, emotional and desperate sounding. You tell me which version seems more likely to be true. Remember, Prince Harry is not begging for anything. He simply participated in a family meeting, exchanged gifts, and shared a heartfelt photo of his children. The rest, the supposed drama, the exaggerated no-way-back narrative, is nothing more than tabloid invention, a fictional narrative created to sell papers and generate clicks. It seems like the tabloids have their own version of the story, but the facts are clear. The meeting was about family, not desperation, and the rest is just noise. So don't be swayed by the dramatic headlines and exaggerated claims, because the truth is much simpler than the tabloids would have you believe. It's time to dissect the tabloids' behaviour and their propensity for drama. Now let's delve into the heart of the matter, the modus operandi of the tabloids. What is it that drives them to twist facts, sensationalise events and create mountains out of molehills? The answer is simple, yet disheartening. It's the insatiable appetite for drama. The more dramatic the narrative, the more copies it sells, and the higher the ratings. Tabloid journalism often thrives on the exploitation of people's lives, most notably those in the public eye. The tactic, taking a simple private event and spinning it into an overblown spectacle. In this case, a father-son meeting is manipulated into a desperate plea for approval, a narrative that is not only misleading but also damaging. Consider the stark contrast between the official clarification and the tabloid version. The former is calm, respectful, and factual. It presents the truth. A meeting occurred, gifts were exchanged, and the photo given was a family memento. The tabloid version, on the other hand, is loud, emotional, and desperate sounding. It portrays Prince Harry as a formal visitor, desperately seeking approval, completely ignoring the simple human interaction of a father and son. The narrative is exaggerated, the facts distorted, and the truth, sadly, becomes an unfortunate casualty in the pursuit of drama. This comparison between the two versions is a clear indicator of the tabloid's tendency to twist facts and sensationalize events. The question we need to ask ourselves is, which version seems more credible? The calm, respectful, and factual narration of events, or the loud, emotional, and desperate-sounding tabloid version? In the end, let's not forget that tabloids are businesses, and businesses need to sell. Drama sells, scandal sells, but at what cost? At the cost of truth, respect, and dignity. Which version of the story seems more credible to you? Let's delve into the reality of Prince Harry's situation. Far from the desperate figure that the tabloids would have you believe, Prince Harry is a man of substance and strength. The reality is that he is not begging for anything. He is not a prodigal son returning to his father with his tail between his legs, but a confident, self-assured man who values his family and cherishes these precious moments of connection. His visit to his father, King Charles, was not a plea for acceptance or a desperate attempt to mend bridges, as some would have you believe. It was a simple act of familial love and respect. The exchange of gifts, including the much-talked-about photo, was a testament to this. A photo of his children, Archie and Lilibet. A tangible representation of his life and the family he's built, a family that he is proud of and loves dearly. The tabloids, always eager to spin tales of drama and despair, have tried to paint him as weak and desperate. Their narrative is that of a man at odds with his family, seeking approval and acceptance. But this is far from the truth. Harry is a man who stands on his own 2 feet, who has built a life for himself outside the royal fold, and who remains connected to his roots out of love, not desperation. What the tabloids fail to grasp, or perhaps choose to ignore, is that Harry's strength lies in his authenticity. He is not defined by his royal title or his place in the line of succession, but by his actions as a son, a father, and a man. A man who, despite the pressures and scrutiny of public life, has managed to maintain his integrity and stay true to his values. So let's put the tabloid tales to rest and focus on the reality. Prince Harry is not a figure of desperation. He's a man of character, love, and strength, a man who values his family and cherishes the connections he has with them. He is not begging for anything. He is simply living his life, a life that he is proud of. Prince Harry is simply a son, a father, and a man who values family. So where does this leave us? After sifting through the sensationalism and the speculation, we're left with a simple yet profound truth. Prince Harry, a son and a father, met privately with his own father, King Charles. During this meeting, gifts were exchanged, a common practice in many family gatherings. The gift from Harry wasn't a plea for acceptance or a desperate attempt to bridge a gap, as the tabloids would have you believe. No, it was a heartfelt representation of the family he's built. A photograph of his children, Archie and Lilibet. The tabloids, with their dramatic headlines and exaggerated narratives, have made a mountain out of a molehill. They've taken a simple family gathering, a private meeting between a father and a son, and turned it into a soap opera. But their narrative is not rooted in reality. It's a fabrication designed to sell papers and generate clicks. The real story here isn't about desperation or a family rift. It's about a man who values his family, who cherishes the bond between a father and his children. It's about a man who chose to share a piece of his world, a cherished photograph of his children with his father. This is the true narrative, one that's been confirmed by official sources, not conjecture or sensationalism. The tabloids have spun their tale, but we must not let their noise drown out the facts. The meeting happened. Gifts were exchanged. The event was centered on family, not desperation or a plea for acceptance. The drama, the supposed no-way-back narrative, is nothing more than tabloid invention, a distortion of reality. The facts are clear, the rest is just noise. We must not allow the tabloids to dictate the narrative or to distort the truth. We must remember the facts and dismiss the rest as noise, as mere tabloid fodder. The truth, after all, is far more compelling than any fiction the tabloids can concoct.